A funny thing that we were talking about, that Kevin and I were talking about, was the Paolo versus Chet thing. Like, I know Ceruti's going to like come strangle me for this, but you hear a lot of people talk about that, and I haven't moved
like
at
it's
all.
a done deal that Paolo is a better pick.
I don't know where you are on that, but I haven't moved on that at all. I still have Chet 1 in that class. Like, I still.
Oh wow, it's a great argument.
Yeah, I don't know. Where are you on that? I mean, and that's not. I'm like pushing Paolo off a cliff. I just prefer Chet, and I like his two-way offerings and spacing and passing and stuff like that. I still think Chet's ultimately going to be the better player.
I mean, I wanted Chet. I went on the KOC. I went everywhere, and I was like, I love Chet. So the fact that both of them are good, I feel like, is a W for me. So I'll take that.
Yeah.
But I keep coming back to, I think both teams got the exact guy that they needed. I think Orlando, we needed a guy who just was like, screw it, give me the ball. I don't care. And I'm going to be maybe a little inefficient, but I'm not afraid. And I am definitely a 1. And OKC didn't need that guy. Like, I don't think, if you swap these two guys, I don't think it works, actually. Like, I don't know how much SGA works with Paolo, and I don't know that Orlando, I don't know that Chet, Chet would be good. He'd be great, but he's not like a number 1 option on a team that's, that just won a playoff game by like 30-something points. So I think everybody's happy.
I think that's the right answer.
Mm-hmm.
I also don't think we have an answer yet, because I want to see how these guys evolve over the next 4 years. I will say this. I think what Chet does translates more to a team with a higher ceiling than maybe the Paolo version of it. Because I think Paolo is just like, if you have Paolo, he's your best player. And if you win the title, he's going to be the number 1 guy, a little like Tatum. Whereas Chet, I think he could kind of be the second, third, or best player potentially on a team, depending on who's on the team. He's such a unique asset. I just can't believe that he's able to hold the fort against Valanciunas. Like, I even at the trade deadline, I was going nuts that they didn't get a center. But as Kyle said earlier, like, yeah, he'll look bad 5 times in a game where you're like, oh man, that looked awful. But he comes right back. He just puts his head down, he runs back, and he'll make a 3. I love how competitive he is, and it ties into what people saw when he was in AAU 5-6 years ago, when everybody was coming at him and trying to dunk on him and test him, and he just always came back. So it's a tough one. I guess the question for me is, and maybe Kyle, maybe you can answer this as a neutral party. What is Paolo's ceiling? Because is his ceiling top 3 MVP candidate? Is it first team All-NBA? Is it 30 and 12 a game? Because if it's that high, then he's probably the ultimate answer to the question. I don't know if Chet's ever going to be like a top 3 player in the league. I would doubt that. But Kyle, do you think he has the chance to be a top 4 MVP candidate? Because I would say I'd lean toward yes over no on that.
Yeah, he kind of feels like high All NBA-ish sort of ceiling to me. Like, I've said that I thought that his developmental path would kind of be similar to Blake Griffin's, because they have the same kind of tilt in their game. Whereas like they played in different eras, where if Blake had played now, he probably would have played more facing the basket. He was so post-up dominant early in his career. But I feel like they're going to end up similar places where they both can kind of pass the ball. The shooting is like, every once in a while it's okay. But to answer your question, I mean, I don't know about top 3 in the league. I'm not sure about that. But I do think that like second-ish flirt with first team All NBA, which is hardly an insult to me.
So like basically,
Yep.
Basically Tatum range.
Yeah, I think that's
Tatum
fair.
is.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I mean,
because I don't know if Tatum gets higher than where he is right now, unless there's one last thing he can add to his game that he doesn't have yet. But to me, he's getting closer to a finished product than maybe I felt before the season.
Really quickly, the Paolo thing, like you saw it today, like his tough shot making ability, and like the efficiency is always going to be, it's going to improve. I mean, he's in the second year and it's his first playoff series. So and
he's 21.
And let his team in points, rebounds, and assists, youngest guy ever to do that. So that to me, those things that he does, like Chet, I don't know that Chet ever does that. Chet's an incredible secondary piece to me.
But does that matter?
Right.
I think it does, because, like he's already a really good playmaker. I mean, I know like people are going to throw the turnovers in his face. I don't know, man. It was 2 road games. He doesn't have a point guard. Like, it's the first playoffs. So like, cool. He
two
had
big
30 tonight
guys
with 0 turnovers. So like,
yeah.
I don't know. The shots he was hitting tonight, you're like, there's not a lot of guys in the league that can do that.
Yeah, I guess his destiny, Chet's destiny would be like the Anthony Davis piece on a title team. And Paolo's destiny could be, can I be the best player on a finals team? Something like that. Could I get to that Durant Tatum territory, which I think at the age he's at with some of the stuff we've seen already, it's a great argument. It's amazing that this isn't even close to being a finished argument yet. Usually after the second year, we kind of know who should have been the first pick.
Mm-hmm.
But in this case, I'm not positive we know yet. Anyway.
Poor Jabari. Right, still holding my Jabari stock. Still like him.
Oh, he's great.
The funny thing is Jabari was also a really good pick. And maybe this actually worked out perfectly. I hope we say the same about the football quarterbacks in the draft today, Ceruti, where it's like, oh man, looking back, yeah, Caleb's the best, but man, Drake May, really good pick at number 3.
Maybe Penix will be awesome. Who knows? You know, that would actually be the greatest like plot twist of all. He actually ends up being some guy.